And we're joined by Sean O'Hara and Giants head coach Joe Judge as we take a look at some of the key plays in this game against the Dallas Cowboys. And, Coach, we're going to start on defense. Dallas going for it on fourth down early in the game, and your players recognized what was coming and then executed the play.
Right, so we knew the situation in the game was going to be a lot of quattro situations to go for on fourth downs. We anticipated that going into it. They do it a lot based on the analytics and the way they play. You know, especially when it's more shorter yardage, they're going to always go ahead and put their guys out there. The recognition on this play was really a big part of it. So we talked all throughout the week of having opportunities for turnovers and opportunities for disruptive plays. Zoe and Logan do a really good job on this play right here of recognizing the formation and the tendency and then changing a little bit of the call with some freedom they have to make sure they put themselves in position to disrupt the play right here. So really what we're looking at right here, it's a fourth and short situation, so we're expecting really the ball coming out fast. And the favorite route right here for any of these guys is really flat routes. So anything getting over in this area right here where it's quick access throws to go ahead and just get that ball out there so you can catch it and get the first down right away. What we recognize right here is we have the chow alignment right there. So you see the running back wide outside the tackle. Normally when it's a run formation, they're really hugging right in here, more towards that leg of the guard so they can come across and get the handoff. When they get that chow alignment here, they're really cheating for the outside. And what we see right here is, you know, we've got the man coverage right here with Tay, and then you've got the edge pressure and the rush coming from this side right here. And what they recognize with the formation is that they know the ball's coming out fast this way. So rather than knowing it's a fast throw and burying themselves in there and just trading off contact for a quick pass outside, what they did was made the call right there and just bluffed it and then pulled off and then really gave like a fence to go ahead and get up there, make them throw through the hands, have the coverage going on through here for the run and the tackle. The corner can fall off late if he needs to right there. But Zoe does a great job right here of seeing it, of getting his hands up in the air, creating the tip, and then finishing it right here with the play. Obviously on fourth down, we're getting off either way on the incomplete. All right, try to keep his feet, make a big play right there as far as running the thing back. But you just really see the recognition of the formation, the situation, know what the opponent does right there, and then how he plays it. Really nice play by Zoe right there, him and Logan being tied in together, and the defense rallying to get off the field in the first drive.
I'm sure his fellow defensive linemen are having fun at the fact that he fell down on his own and wasn't able to get back up and run. But for that play, when you take it back to what Lorenzo's doing here, so he doesn't have the back in coverage, right, and he kind of has free reign right here. So this is just him reading the eyes, or is he supposed to be attacking the tackle a little bit more to free up Logan?
Well, based on what he's doing right there, they have a two-way call there that he could push it way up right there. Logan could feed off him right here based on the look. And that ties in a little bit more with when we're going to go ahead and rush it. So if it was more of a tucked-in formation, they didn't get the read for the quick out flat right there, you could run more of the rush game off it. Because they know it's happening so fast in recognition, again, instead of burying himself right here, all right, into the big guy, all right, he's going to go ahead and just say, forget it. That ball is going to be out before I have a chance to do anything to him. The timing of the route is just so fast, no pass rush is going to get to it, which is part of the reason they're throwing it on a situation like fourth down where you want to get pressure on him. So the recognition of it right there, there's some flexibility with how they can play it. You know, he does a good job of just bowing out there. And again, you see, he'd have been in contact, and by the time the wrap would be coming around here with Logan, that ball would be out. So then the pass or the rush is negated just by the timing of the play. And that's why in this situation right here, understanding where it's coming from, of giving the freedom right there to get their hands up, make the tip, and make the play.
And as part of that, Coach, like just looking at tendencies, I know going into last week's game, Prescott, 52% of his passes were coming out in less than 2.5 seconds. So that's part of their game, right, is to get the ball, like all quarterbacks, get it out quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just, you know, the team you're playing, but it's the players you're playing. That's really the most important part of it, who does what. Dak does a great job right now of getting the ball in and out of his hand like he's turning two, playing baseball. You know, but you see this guy in his short yardage situations especially, they've been very, very efficient on early downs, and the situational plays third and fourth down, that's when the ball really comes out fast. They've got a specific scheme up on you. They're looking for a coverage tendency. Is it man? Is it zone? He knows before the ball's ever snapped where he's going. So when it's happening that fast, you've got to go ahead and adjust to make sure you have a chance to make a play on it. Instead, just go ahead and running lines on a piece of paper and burying yourself in there.
Kadarius Toney had a huge game for the Giants, and Coach, you come out throwing to him right away to start the third quarter.
Yeah, we want to go ahead and get the drive started with a big gain on the first one. We had this play worked throughout the week in practice. Really gave us two options. You know, really it was the deep shot to John Ross coming up and across the field right there. And then you had Toney, you know, on the in and out work right there. Now, this was a situation that this guy's got a lot of real good quickness and instincts on when to make the break. And it really shows up right here. Obviously, the speed of Ross showed up last week in the game against the Saints. We knew they'd have to respect that. And if they didn't, we'd have a shot over the top to him right here. So we had two good options. And it all starts with the protection up front, which we're going to hit on the back end in a second. And Mike does a really nice job right here off the run action fake, moving the pocket, really changing the launch point, and then giving ourselves a chance for the throw back across the field right there for really a big chunk play to start the drive out. So we'll start right here just with the receivers and starting up top. And again, it's really the speed of Ross really makes this play. And he does a really nice job right here because instead of just coming here and pushing flat across, where you can squeeze the hip of the angle as a defender. He does a really nice job right here as you watch him, and he straightens up the stem. When you straighten that up, that makes this guy right here respect the possibility of an outside break. Well, once you get him straightened up there, he has that break away from it. It makes the safety go ahead and react. At this point here, once he straightens up, you can see right there, deep field safety and the corner are really breaking more for that 7 route right there, holding the outside. He snaps it, he comes across, ends up going ahead and being open right there. At that point, Mike had already seen the deep safety help over top, knowing he had the one-on-one matchup here. And this is really just a nice job right here of KT of really coming on in here, selling the cross route, really coming in here. Really puts Diggs at a position where he's really got to fight hard to go ahead and stop that thing from being a completion there where he's going to catch it and run. And then KT just does a good job of just naturally what he does, sticks his foot in the ground. Really good fundamentals. You talk about when you make these change of direction throws, you want your toe back to the line of scrimmage. Reason being, you want your entire foot in the ground with all your cleats to support your base and really make sure you have power to go ahead and you don't slip and fall. All right, see him right there. He sticks it. He rolls back on out with a change of direction. And you can just see right there, because of the undercut right here by number 7, all right, KT's wide open right there, and then just does a good job here of catching the ball and then getting vertical and gaining more yards to really start the drive in positive territory for us.
Coach, for a young receiver, he's got great natural ability, and you could see on his release right there, he was not going to get jammed at the line of scrimmage. That first step of his is so sudden.
No, look, he's extremely quick. He's got great burst going downfield. The other thing about KT is he's very strong. I think it's the one thing you saw in his college tape coming out. We see it in practice every day, and the thing that people underestimate a lot of times is this guy's a powerful guy. I mean, he's very powerful. So as far as playing through contact and running with the ball in his hand, this guy's a very strong runner and he's a strong finisher right there. You know, and to get a ball down the field like that for those chunk plays, you really got to protect well up front. So it's not all about what you can draw routes-wise. It really all starts all the time with how well can you protect, how much time can you buy the quarterback to go ahead and get him out there. So it's a good job right here, really selling the run right here. All right, off the play action fake there. You see the offensive line here off that run action. We've got good double teams up front, good slide coming down here. You see a tight end match up there on the safety, and it's a good job right here. And again, you see Mike rolling on out, changing the launch point. You see how the offensive line stays aware with eyes up, good finish, good fit, tons of room, tons of space for Mike to really go ahead and settle, all right, and then change it up right there, step into it, makes a good, accurate throw down the field. And then again, there's KT right there. You see defeated right there. Here comes the pursuit and the defender right there. He's got to turn it up and get vertical and steal as much room as he can right there to get the next part of the drive started for us.
I would highlight what the left guard does in this. Matt Skura, I thought, does a really nice job of protecting the inside of Nate Solder, which you said make it look and sound like run. So how do you do that as an offensive lineman? Well, you come out kind of aggressive, and you could see Nate Solder does that, and his aiming point is the outside shoulder right here because he knows he's got a guard with inside help. And by doing that, you know, right now he's making it look, hey, it feels like run. He knows he's got this peak right here. You can see the left guard. So, you know, that knowing, and for Skura, this is just his second game, you know, playing next to Nate, but having that trust and that relationship was a big part of this.
No, they did a great job. And again, the way it influences the defense, again, you see the action by the quarterback and the running back, but really what sells it here isn't the quarterback running back. It's really the double teams in the offensive line right here for the backers to believe it's a run to come on up. So you say make it look and sound like a run. If the backers don't feel it and they drop back in these windows and their pass responsibilities, that's going to take away that, you know, route with the underneath coverage if he gets proper depth right there.
Well, Coach, the other thing too that, you know, was really good on this play is the backside. You know, sometimes we see sort of that leakage on the backside, but Caden Smith, Kyle Rudolph, they really sealed that and gave that look too.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you see that kind of wall of protection right there. And again, you got Caden, you got Kyle right here matching with their guys. And then Pert's giving body presence right there for anything that's going to be leaking on back. And again, this is a big movement team. So if this is a run stunt right here or some kind of just leaky movement that peeled on off right there, you got to have someone protecting as they come on back right there with eyes to make sure we buy time for that pocket right there from Mike.
Giants trying to claw back in this game against the Cowboys, and Devontae Booker makes a heck of a play to get a touchdown on the board for you.
Yeah, 4th and goal situation does a great job finish for us. There's a lot of things that come in this situationally and execution-wise are really good for us to go ahead and carry forward and teach off. So first off, we call this, you know, it's low red area, but really once you get inside that 5-yard line, we really call it the tight red area. And really a lot of things come up in the tight red areas. Really what you're thinking this area here, a really specific one-play type scenario, maybe one-offs, gadget-type plays, things the other opponent hasn't prepared for. You're thinking direct runs to get the thing vertically into the end zone, and you're thinking base concept plays. What we're expecting offensively from this team right here, the way they played it, is it's a lot more man coverage down here. It's too fast to throw in a zone to react and break. So really what you see from the majority of teams in this position in the National Football League is a lot of tight man coverage. So when you get man coverage, what a lot of teams use, and obviously we're no different, is you get condensed formations and you get stacks and you get bunches. And what that does right there within the man responsibilities It forces communication and reaction. It also creates traffic, all right, when guys have to work on through. So if you can clear one guy out, clear one over, how are they matching it? And can you create enough traffic to get somebody free up there for the pass? So you want to have different ways and varieties. Now, what ends up happening in the NFL is everybody sees bunches, everyone sees stacks. There's different ways of playing them. They can disguise them, hide them. They can bait you into throwing a pass that you don't want to throw to a free defender. It's a good scheme right here. Jason, the offense staff, put together right here in terms of getting Booker out there and really adding a fourth element to the bunch right here. So as we motion on out right here, it's a good shot here of adding one more element, and you just see the extra traffic right here with Kazee coming on over to handle the back right here. It becomes the inside movement right here to really create the traffic for the defenders to work on through, and you end up getting the open receiver out there in the flat. Now, it's a good job of Mike, we'll see on the back end, knowing there's going to be one more guy rushing than we can block, so he's got to make sure he identifies the hot and gets the ball out fast. Does a really nice job right here getting it out before a defender can get there, and then Booker does a good job right here. We'll see it more from the back of catching the ball and then finishing. You can see right here on the turf, he slips a little bit with his feet going out, does a good job of getting his hand down and bracing. And then the situation for us is here. We're always preaching ball security and carrying the ball across the goal line with our pads. There's two exceptions to that rule. We allow the players to reach the ball out and make sure they finish the drive in two situations. It's 4th and goal and 2-point plays. 2 one-play scenarios where it's completely reliant on that one play. If it's 2-point, you either get it or you don't. You do everything you can to get it in. If it's 4th and goal, there is no 5th down, so we can do everything we can to get that thing in. If it's 3rd and goal, that's different. We'll line up, we'll play in 4th goal right there. Now, from the back end right here, just watching it, again, tying into just the way it fits together and the protection.
Coach, break down the defense right here. This is what, when I was playing, we call this a 4-2-5 double mug right here, right?
That's it. So double mug's the common terminology used through the league. We'll call it ammo sometimes. We'll call it double Abby. Everyone's got their own terms for it. But double mug are the 2 linebackers inside, and you get a mix of things from this. And number one, what it does is it really stresses your offense out in terms of who's coming, who's going, who's picking, who's dropping, whatever it may be. And normally this is a man indicator, not 100%, but normally it's a man indicator type of defense. You see the defensive line right here, and that's really creating the matchups that you want your bigs on your bigs. So you're saying right here, tackle on end, guard on tackle, tackle on end. And what you're creating here is a situation of normally it's a center for one of these two guys and a back for one of these two. Now, there's different ways you can slide it and pick them up, and there's always a game plan way, but that's the base philosophy defensively of who can we go ahead and create the mismatch on between this center and that running back inside. So there's certain teams that do a really good job of running the pick schemes. All right, the center sets this way, he's going to pick his hip and climb, he's going to wrap around, and ultimately you get 2 on the protection on the back. All right, what we end up doing in this situation here against this double mug look is taking the pick equation out of it is we're going to go ahead and slide everybody. And instead of worrying about the double mug inside on the center, we're going to go ahead and just push everybody on down and eliminate the gaps they have to push from. And again, you see the dropper right here to take the backside hole right there in the crossers, but that keeps this guy free. So Mike knows because the protection's sliding that way, there's one more that I can protect against, and I've got to go ahead and get this ball out. Does a good job right here of recognizing right away with the protection of knowing Gregory's coming free. Does a good job of getting the ball out right there. And again, you can see how fast that happens before the receivers even have a chance to really go ahead and get declared and get open. And he's got to know exactly where Book's going to be, how fast it's going to happen, and get that thing out to him right there.
Coach, if you could rock it back, because I think Nate Solder does a great job on his play. He's got the hard hat on this, and you could see his slide. He's vertically setting for Randy Gregory and reacting to this blitzer. If Micah Parsons drops out there, right, now he would continue on his slide, and so would Wes Martin. But because that blitzer comes in, he's got his eyes inside. Now he reacts to the 3 technique and slides back in to take him, to give Mike Lennon more time to get the ball out.
That's it right there. You're trying to get the guys that are coming. It's exactly what you're referring to right there. So the combination of blocking of saying, you know, us 2 have the dual read on these 3, meaning if the 2 inside guys come, we got to block 2 inside guys. If it ends up being he drops and these are guys coming, then we got to rock her back out and take those guys right there. So again, through different, you know, protections you can call in different situations, Mike ended up sliding them all right here, make sure we took out those gaps, did a good job of it.
And with a quarterback that probably didn't get a lot of reps with you during the week going over that.
Well, I think the thing you have to keep in mind with these guys in this league, they got to show up every day and they have to prepare. And for a guy like Mike, he's got to get his reps wherever possible. So he's going to get some reps with our, you know, first team offense. He's going to get a lot of reps with our scout team working against our defense. So he's got to make sure he takes everything in our game plan and is able to tie it into what he's doing for the opponent. Now, in a week like last week, Dallas's offense, very similar to ours in structure from Jason's background. You know, so there's a lot of things he could run on the scout team last week that tied directly into the routes, the concepts, the timing that we're going to have. There's a lot of other weeks you play different teams where he's got to go ahead and manufacture, how can I work on this concept that's going in from our offense and tie it into what I have to do to give a look for our defense. Mike does a really good job of that. Comes to work every day. He's very prepared. And again, when his number got called, he's ready to play for us.
And Coach, just take us to the finish again, that coaching point that you talked about earlier, 4th down.
So here it is. So here's the catch and flat right here. Ball's right there on his inside shoulder for Book. As he turns around, he actually slips right there. So does a good job. He gets his hand down. He gets his knee back up off the ground before contact's initiated right there, so he can go ahead and finish. And then right here on the contact, now it just comes down to good ball security of driving on through, but just carrying it through the goal line with your pads. But what happens is, as he starts to get spun around right there, he knows that he's going to have to reach that ball out just to make sure we have the opportunity to score right there. So the coaching point, again, if it's 4th and goal or a 2-point play, then you can reach it out. The players know, other than those 2 situations right there, we're carrying the ball across the goal line with our pads.
Coach, we appreciate the time. As always, good luck this week.
I appreciate you.